So I did my practice observation on the Mercer's men's basketball team. Searched up another practice video on YouTube. This was a open practice from 2015. The coach at the time was Bob Hoffman, and so yeah. So this is what I saw um, the, during the practice. Okay, so what were two types of communications the coaches use? Okay, so two types of communication that the coaches use. The head coach, Coach Bob Hoffman, mainly used verbal communication. So any error or praise or uh, uh, feedback that he wanted to give, it was all verbal. He didn't really use much of visual communication to really show what his players wanted. Now his assistant, or what he wanted from his players. Now his assistants, they use visual communication. They were more involved with the drills, the defensive set drills that they would run. You know, that they were more hands on. So they showed the players what their coach was requiring or needed from them. So yeah, so that's what I saw. What did you observe about the flow of how practice went? The practice, all in all, was very seamless. I mean, little to no dead time in between the drills. There was constant communication. Players were constantly communicating with each other, so they wasted no time on going through the drills. Then once they got the to the defensive set course and really just started breaking down how they would guard, that's when practice started to slow down. But they were just making sure, the coaches were making sure that the players understood everything that was required of them when it came to defense. So yeah, no problem there. And plus, that was the latter half of practice anyway. Okay. So what stood out about the structure of the practice plan? Um, One thing I recognized, and it was very similar to how my high school coach used to structure our practices. They ran drills heavy at the beginning, and then just focused on their sets for the latter half of practice. So basically, what we used to do in my high school was we would do this power 400 drill, which is basically just the different types of dribbling drills. Then we would work on our pivot foot, our loose balls, our passing, one-on-one full court. Just drills like that. We would go through that heavy on the first half, and then we'll work on free throws as well. And then for the latter half of practice, we're just focusing on how to guard off pick and roll, how to guard off down screens, how to guard the fast break, running through some of our plays and how to guard that, So that's how we used to do it, and that's exactly how they do it at Mercer. So it was kind of funny to see the same structure being used in a D1 collegiate, sport. Now, granted, our head coach did come from a D2 college school, a very successful college school, but I said college school, that's the same thing, but yeah, so it shouldn't be that surprising, but it is to me because I haven't seen any other practice that has ran the same structure as we used to. So yeah, so just just them doing the drills first and then focusing on sets later. What concept from the book or class discussion were you able to see in this practice? I know how we talked about the language, how we would convey our critiques and our feedback to our players, and how to not make it sound like they're always doing something wrong, because that can definitely hurt a player's confidence. And just making sure that we're always uplifting, just trying to keep a neutral kind of and positive tone to how we critique our players. And so at times I could see Coach Hoffman being way too condescending. The player messes up, he would get flustered and then start screaming, "We're trying to raise banners. We don't need excuses. We're trying to raise banners." And then which I get. You're trying to instill a championship culture, and you can't do that if players are making excuses. But some players will react positively to that, but some players won't. Some players might shut down, might shut off completely. So yeah, you never know. I feel like he needs to be a little bit better with his tone. Uh, the assistant coach, one of the assistant coaches too, was kind of crazy. That man was on 10 the entire time, which I get. You trying to wake boys up, during practice, but my God, like breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like, good lord. But yeah, other than that, that was really one of the main things that I saw. Just he needs to work better on his feedback towards his players. All right. And then the last one, what did you learn from this practice that you can use in your own practice or life situation? Now, one thing I did notice is that the team he had was very, very disciplined. And by that I mean they had a player-led team stretch at the beginning of practice. Um, you know, nobody was goofing off. Everybody was stretching and everything. And then the coach started this rhythm clap, and everybody immediately joined in, moved towards the middle of the court. Nobody was slacking. Nobody wasn't clapping. Everybody was clapping. And then once the guy in the middle, coach said what he needed to say, they broke off and then literally went straight into drills. Like they went into this one dribbling drill where they would constantly switch in the tempo they were dribbling and also the height. So he would be like low high, middle, low, low. And so when the coach would say it, the players would repeat it back to reinforce them what they were doing. So, just having a disciplined team like that, that's something I know I can use, is be more disciplined for sure, because my God, I need that. But yeah. And then seeing how disciplined that team was, I can see why they were successful under Coach Hoffman. I think this was it around that time? I can't remember exactly, but this is the coach that beat Duke in the tourney, so there's no surprise here. Okay, and I think that's it. All right. Okay.